Morning. Excuse me. Happy Thursday. We're going to take a look at the summary that we wrote yesterday in class. Shitty first draft of one if you want to find it and pull it up somewhere as soon as everybody gets in here. And you can do it. Here's an example. I don't know if this is the one we looked at yesterday, but it's along the similar lines, right? Highly analytical and detail-oriented emerging professional, poised to excel within entry-level accounting role, requiring strong mathematical and organizational acumen. You guys had some good versions going yesterday. If you want to go ahead and pull those out. Everybody's here who's coming today. This is the first portion you're going to put on your resume. First, does anybody have any questions over anything we've gone over? Good so far.
I have a few questions.
Okay.
So for the resume, it's supposed to be like spread out, right? Or is that supposed to be like the mind map? Just the mind map.
For the resume, it depends on the template that you choose to use. I mean, you can do just a regular one that lists everything in order if you don't want to choose one from Canva. Okay. The mind map is like brainstorming. The resume is going to be a list of your qualifications, starting with the summary. So the mind map can be messy and disorganized and not make a whole lot of sense, but the resume has to have specific things on it.
When is that mind map due?
I pushed back the due date for the mind map to Wednesday. We didn't have time to work on it the day the Zoom crashed.
And then the cover's different from the resume, correct?
Yes. So you have a cover letter, which is a letter that introduces you to the employer. Okay, and looks like a standard letter. Well, let's look at some examples of those.
Can we write the cover letter as like we like graduated from college and like have our degree?
Yes, you can do that. There's two ways you can go ahead and say I graduated in May of, or you can say I have an anticipated graduation date. If you want to use it now, like some people actually use this to apply for like an internship before they graduate. So whatever's most useful to you, you can do that.
So is the job like one that we've had or one that we're gonna have, or just like
one
any
that you
job?
want to have? You're picking out a job listing from one of the job websites and applying for it. The job that you've had is what you're going to put on the resume.
So we have to do the mind map, the cover, and the resume?
Yes, but you have until next Wednesday.
Okay.
Good questions. Let's look at the examples. So this is what a resume looks like. It's a list with this little summary here of your best qualities. Since it's entry level for you guys, you're gonna hit like if you're hardworking or organized. Be true to yourself. I mean, don't sell yourself on stuff that you don't have. You have your own strengths, so make sure you play to those. And then you're going to list any jobs that you've had and what you did at those jobs, and then your education. Okay? So like Emmeline was asking, it would be McHenry University, Lebanon, Illinois, whatever degree you're having. The GPA you can put, it's optional. If you have any honors, you can list those underneath. And then if you want to talk about specific experiences you had, like an internship or something like that, you could probably list that under employment. As it says here, highlight job-specific internships or co-op experiences or volunteer work. You could add a separate section for volunteer work. That's the resume. The cover letter looks like a standard business letter. Are you guys familiar with that? So if you go Google it, you can see countless examples here, right? So this is what a cover letter looks like, okay? It's gonna have your contact information just like the resume page will. So that's one thing that'll be the same. And then it'll look like a letter. Did they talk about letters with you guys in high school? You start with the date, the person that you're applying to, their name, and the address of the company, and then the salutation. And like I said, if you can find a human being, even if that human being is not quite the right one who is in charge of the job, they can get it to the person who is. As opposed to if you just address it to whom it may concern, it could float around for God knows how long, right? So one way you can find out someone is to go to a website like Indeed and look up their human resources people. They should have contact information for them or their website. Okay? So the first paragraph, you introduce yourself. My name is Andre, and I'm pleased to be applying for the position of at Company X. I was thrilled to find this job opening on monster.com, and I feel that my skills and studies make me a perfect fit for the role. So this can fit a lot of different jobs, right? So you can use these templates to help you write yours. Don't plagiarize it, okay? Put your own information in there and your own spin on it, okay? So as a senior at UCLA in the English department, I have a wealth of experience conducting research, compiling written reports. So you can talk, if you don't have job experience, it's going to help you. You can talk about what you've learned in school. It's going to help you. Right now, you're doing the things that are in this paragraph, right? You're going to learn how to research. You'll have all of these qualifications by the end of the class. Okay? Some highlights from my relevant experience include, and see how the white space is? I talked about this. People have a lot of eye fatigue in terms of reading a bunch of documents, but there's no amount of white space here in bullet points, right? Conducting research, improving tutoring subject writing scores by 40%, receiving an average score of 9 to 10 on tutor review surveys. So this person did some writing tutoring. Then if you have information, hopefully you've researched the company, okay? So you can say, I really like your website, or you have a great reputation for graphic design, something that shows them that you really have looked at their company and you're not just sending out 50,000 resumes, even though you might be just sending out 50,000 resumes. But you know what I'm saying? If you can just find one little thing to comment on about the company, it's going to give you a leg up, you know, in terms of just generic resumes that they receive. Also, keywords from their job description. You want to sprinkle them in here because a lot of computer programs, you don't even get to a person. The computer programs look through the cover letters for keywords before they ever kick you to a human being. And if you don't have the keywords that are in the resume or in the job description, you may never get to a human being. You guys following me? And that's what they're looking for. That's part of audience. Like, they wouldn't have put it into the job description if that's not what they wanted you to have. So they need you to translate for them how you have those qualities. And then at the end, I've enclosed my resume, which has the more detailed education and experience, because this is just kind of hitting the highlights. I'll send you, let me put this in the chat if you want to copy it. So that's what a cover letter looks like. Standard business letter. It's sort of condensing and summarizing the best of your experiences and how it meets the job. Questions about that? Now the resume is a little trickier because there are a lot of different formats that you could use. So we looked at Canva. And it has lots of examples that you could use, but like I said, don't plagiarize. Put your information in there. You can use it as a basis. So on here, it has some of them that we looked at yesterday. There's kind of different opinions on whether you should put your picture on there. I mean, some people feel like it can bias people. So I leave it up to you guys. You might want to look at some of the research. So, Andre, you asked a good question. What is that resume supposed to look like? It depends on the template that you're going to choose, right? So this would have, you could put your name up here, right there. You just replace it with your name. You can leave college student. Main objective, that's what we're going to work on here, that you're pulling up the summary that we did the draft of yesterday. That's where you would put that, okay? So it's got the headers for you. You just kind of have to fill in. If you don't have those things, you can consider changing the name of the header. You know, you could put relevant experience, okay? Achievements, contact details, academic background, skills and interests. This is a nice entry level because you get to put, like, do you like documentaries, or what things in your interests might catch the attention of somebody who's interviewing you that you might have in common? Does that make sense? So the resume is like blocks of text depending on which one you choose. So here's a lot simpler one with, that's like if you're going for probably a more conservative company. Name, the contact information is here now. I know it's a little, because there's lots of options. People are like, I don't know if this is the right one. As long as you're choosing one of these and filling in the appropriate information. Okay. Here's the summary. I'm a 20-year-old history major aspiring to become one of the columnists for the university's official school publication. I'm skilled in news writing. So then this is somebody who hasn't graduated yet, right? So this is them, they have 216 to present, indicating they're still working on that degree. You guys follow me? And in your cover letter, you can put my anticipated graduation date is May of 2024. High school, if you have some, if you were in the honor society, if you have some achievements or clubs or teams that you were on in high school, since it's an entry-level resume, they would be fine with you putting some of your high school experiences. This person knows a lot of languages. So it depends on which one you like. Okay, Alexa, welcome. Let's go back. How did I find this on Canva? When you sign into Canva, like, it has my history on here, so your history might be different. But there are two ways you can do it. You can search right here in the search bar, put in college resume. And as you see, this is the suggested that came up. And if I click on it, it's going to give me sort of an overview of all of these designs. You can see if something catches your eye. And then you just follow it and alter it as needed. If you don't have something that's on here, then you just change it, change the heading to something that, you know, fits your experience. Someone does fishing tournaments. I think that would be cool if you've won in the fishing tournaments, just to put as like an interest. Here they have key strengths. But you see how the information isn't necessarily in any certain order on these? That's okay. As long as you have all of that information, it comprises how they get in touch with you, what your educational background is, and what your career background is. Those are the main things. This one has a more traditional career objective to attain an engaging position in search engine marketing. The objectives are kind of going out of style, and they're in favor of the summary that we worked on. And then if you want to change it, you just click on the box, highlight it. Okay, I want to put academic achievements. Instead of academic background. Then when you're done, you can go up here to this download button. You want to download it as a PDF. It'll give you other options. If it doesn't show it might show the PNG, JPEG. Here's what it suggests: PDF print, high quality and multi-page document. You hit that, and then you hit download, and you can save the file. Questions about that? So far? So I'm just looking for like the shitty first draft on Wednesday. You may not have all your information yet. It may not be pretty yet. That's okay. We're going to make it that way. We're going to help you flesh out the information. I'll have you guys kind of interview each other and say, you know, what'd you do in high school? Did you have any achievements? I was student director of the high school play. I was in the honor society. I was a thespian. You know, anybody a thespian? Fellow thespians? So, is everybody getting the idea of the difference between the cover letter and the resume? So when you send this to your employer, what they usually do is read the cover letter first so they can get an idea if you fit, right? So let's do some breakout rooms and you guys compare what you wrote yesterday and see if you can help each other improve it. Okay. Does everybody have a job in mind yet? Yeah. Because you need to tailor the cover letter keywords to it, you might want to start finding your job. The career objective, not as important, but definitely when you write your cover letter, you need to know you have your job first. All right, let's do some breakout rooms. Well, I'll put you with a partner and you guys can look at each other's. You put them in the chat and make suggestions or steal, you know, in the right way as a writer. If they have some good words, techniques, you can use those. So, exchange your career summary draft from yesterday. And help them improve it. Everybody clear? All right. Then we'll work on that for about 10 minutes. And then we'll meet back. Okay? Okay, welcome back. Does anybody have any questions about those? Hopefully you got a little feedback you can use to put it in your draft, all right? On Monday, I'll give you some time to pick out a template. For Monday, make sure that you pick out a job or an internship that you want to go for. You might even want to peruse McKendry's website and see if they have any interesting scholarships or things that you can apply for. And a couple more people are coming. So Tuesday, we talked about nouns. I want to talk about verbs today, but I think you guys are pretty much good with verbs being action words. The problem that comes in is I'm seeing some problems with subjects and verbs agreeing. English has rules about which verb to use, which verb tense to use. So let's take a look at the Khan Academy, and then after I show you the one video on subject verb agreement. We're going to run out of time here shortly in about 5 minutes. So after you watch the video, take the last 10 minutes of class after our meeting ends to work through some of the exercises. Watch the video, do the exercise, and see if you have any problem areas. Then you know you need to work on those. If you're doing okay answering the questions, you're golden. If you're having problems, then that might be another area we need to work on, and write it down. Keep it at what we call an error checklist. That is the areas that you need to work on for your own personal writing. Okay. So let's look at the short little video, and then you guys can work through the exercises on. So verbs, action words, right? Let's talk about verb agreement.
Hi, grammarians. Today I want to talk about this idea in English that we call agreement. So I'm going to teach you how to be agreeable and make it so that all of your sentences get along really well. Let me give you an example. Dog barks as opposed to the dogs bark. You see the difference? It's funny because the S seems to migrate, seems to move from one part of the sentence to the other. So what you wouldn't say is the dog bark. That doesn't work. You wouldn't say the dogs barks. I know that seems strange that you wouldn't want to have the S follow the other S, but you actually only want to have one of these in a sentence. So the dog barks, the dogs bark. When there's only one of something, strangely, in the present tense, it takes this S. So, Jake bakes a cake. We bake a cake. Not Jake bake a cake. Which, admittedly, is a fun sentence to say, but this is not, in standard English, this is not correct. It doesn't exhibit what we call agreement. Similarly, you also wouldn't say we bakes cake. If you're familiar with the Lord of the Rings books or movies, if you remember Gollum, the character Gollum is a weird little bug-eyed critter. Just kind of obsessed with the One Ring. He has this very particular way of speaking that is not, strictly speaking, standard. Just wild about that ring. And the way he refers to everything is he just throws on an S on the end of every word he uses, every verb. So if he's talking about, you know, this magic ring that he's very fond of, which he calls the precious.
Okay, we're going to run out of time, so you guys may need to watch the rest of this on the page. So I'm going to send you the link to this. Please work on the exercises for the last 10 minutes of class. So finish watching that video and any videos that come after in the series. I'll check on the shitty first draft should be under ENG280. But if you guys aren't seeing it, I'll make sure I have it posted so you can see it. Okay, if you don't get a chance to copy and paste the address, just email me and I will send it in the email. Any questions? Work on the exercises at this link. Okay, get as many as you can done in this last 10 minutes. All right, and email me if you have questions. It's gonna cut us off here in a second. Everybody good on what we're supposed to do? See you later.